One of the main differences with EverQuest Legends is that raid bosses are not available to kill in either public instances or even personal instances. Raid bosses are actually going to be in their own raid instance, and I'm going to show you how to spin those up and where they can be found. In most of my other videos, I've talked about leveling a druid and a wizard to certain levels, druid to 25, wizard to 23. That way you unlock rituals, and rituals are spells that you can cast even if you are not currently one of those classes. And in this case, I'm talking about being able to port yourself around the world even if you're not a druid or a wizard. The first place we're going to visit today is the Hole, which is off of Peniel? I've always called it Peniel, but whatever. And that, of course, is off of Tox Forest. Oh, I should mention, I did use the Wizard's Tox Gate instead of the Druid's Ring of Tox, because the Wizard Gate will put you a little bit closer to Peniel. Either one works, but it just saves you a little bit of time when it comes to running to the zone. So you're going to teleport into Tox Forest. You're going to run yourself over to Peniel, or whatever the heck you call it. And then, instead of jumping into the hole, that's what you would normally do to go into that zone, you're going to talk to this Voidling right here. Now, when you get to a Voidling, you're going to hail it. And in the chat box, as you can see, the word danger is highlighted. You're going to click on danger. This window pops up, and then you determine if you want it to be on D0 or whatever, solo versus multiplayer, and then you spin up the instance. Now, with these raid-specific, boss-specific instances, there is very little trash. Some trash you can completely ignore, and I'll show you that throughout this video, and other trash you may want to kill. Now, Yael here, he has a couple of NPCs that are either standing around or sometimes they patrol. This flighty fiend over here will aggro you during the fight, so you can either kill him beforehand or just completely ignore him. He's low 40s. You can charm him if you want to. You can do whatever you want. I typically either ignore him or just kill him during combat. Yael is the easiest boss ever. You may not even need to come to Yael. He doesn't drop that much stuff, but just wanted to showcase this just in case. All right, the next place we're going to is Lava Storm. That way we can get to Nagi. Now, currently on the pre-order beta, the maps still aren't done. They are coming soon, TM. While you can download Brewalls or Goods maps or whatever else exists out there, Lava Storm, in most all cases, has been updated to the new Lava Storm zone. So when you zone in here, your map may look like this, and it makes no sense at all. So turn your character, find the smoke, steam, whatever this is that's rising out of the lava, the volcano area, and head that direction. You're just going to drop down here and zone in. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, I've had my map up for this video, and I do have it up for most of the video. That way you can follow along. I'm not trying to rush to the Voidling in each one of these zones. That way you can see the route that I take. Some zones have multiple routes to the Voidlings. I'm just doing the one that I know, that I'm comfortable with. So if you know of a better way or a faster way, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Always love to learn. Now, here in Nagi's Lair, I'm going to make my way to the Voidling ever so slowly. That way you can follow along. You'll see a couple of bats on the way there, a couple of telltale signs. But eventually you're going to find your way to the Voidling. Same deal. You're going to hail it. You're going to spin up an instance. And then we'll talk about how to get to Nagi. Now, here in SolB, keep in mind you can invis most of your way to the Voidling. I think these giants see through invis. I didn't verify, but it doesn't matter. It's right near the Voidling. If you do aggro them, and if you are in combat, you can still spin up the instance. You don't have to be out of combat. So yeah, you may train somebody, but at the end of the day, just get to the Voidling, spin up your raid instance, get to work. All right, here in the actual lair of Nagi, or right outside of it, I suppose, I'm going to show you the path that I take to skip as many giants as possible. You don't have to do this. And in fact, I'm going to show you how to pacify some of them. You're going to jump in the lava here. You can see on this little ledge right here, in case you forget to mim something like feign death or pacify, catch your breath here before you jump up. In this location, if you get stuck like I do, I just duck and I can get through it. But once you get to this point in time, if you have a pacify, this is where you can save a lot more time. And you'll see me using this as the video unfolds. You can pacify mobs without them being in line of sight. So pacify these two guys, run up the ramp, pacify the next two, run up the ramp, kill the mini boss. Then you can kill Nagi. Keep in mind, if you're in a solo instance, you don't have to worry about fear. So engage Nagafen, and yes, he does run away on D0, hilariously enough, but that's only on D0. Once he's dead, we're going to head on over to Permafrost. So we're going to take our Ring of Surefall Glade. Now, as you can see here, when I zone in, I don't get attacked. You're just going to make your way out of this zone. Don't worry about anything. You'll pop up in the hills, and then you're going to make your way to Blackburrow. Once in Blackburrow, you will quickly make your way to Everfrost. And then comes the longest run of your life. Now, one thing to keep in mind while you're running around, a lot of these zones, not all, but But a lot of these zones are starter zones, which means you can change your loadout as you see fit in these zones. So while you may want to raid as, I don't know, a wizard, cleric, monk for whatever reason, you can actually drop one of them, swap in a bard if you have a bard leveled up. Let's say your bard's at 35, 40. That's okay. Swap in the bard, throw on Salos, and get to your location that much faster. Look at this lizard. What a handsome dude. Eventually, you'll find yourself in front of Permafrost. Now, at some point in the not too distant future, Permafrost will be changed to a level 35 to 50 end-game leveling zone. When that occurs, things like Invis may become more necessary. Heck, even the location of the Voidling might change. We don't know anything about that right now, so we will cross that bridge when we get to it in however many weeks or months. For now, I'm going to show you how to get to the Voidling. As you can see, these mobs are gray. It doesn't matter if you aggro anything, they do nothing to you at level 50, so you can just safely make your way to the Voidling. You're going to click on a couple of gates and make sure you actually click the gates, not the lever or lever on the wall. And before you know it, you are at the Voidling. Same deal, spin it up. And when you open this first set of doors, you're going to be greeted by a low-ish level giant. You're going to kill that guy, and then you guessed it, Pacify comes back into play. You're going to pacify the guy on the left, you're going to pacify the guy on the right. And if you aggro these guys instead of pacify them, there is a third giant that typically aggroes through the gate behind them. Around this corner is a little spider. I have found that on D3 and or D4, it might just be D4, he does like to aggro me before I have a chance to pacify him, so you may have to kill this guy. Then you're going to round the corner again, pacify the giant, walk up, pacify the two little ice terrors or whatever they are, and then you can head on in and kill Vox as you see fit. Now, Vox, instead of Nagi, does come with an add. It's a priest, so you have two healers you have to contend with here, Vox being a cleric and now this guy. If I have a class that can charm, I'll typically charm it. Otherwise, obviously I just kill it, and Vox is not a hard fight. So you're just going to take care of your business, kill Vox, and collect your loot and get out of here. Now, the next boss we're going to talk about is good old Cazic Thule. I'm going to use my Ring of Firot. I'm going to teleport into Firot, and then I'm going to make my way across the zone. Again, bard speed if you want to. It will save you time. And then eventually, once again, after you cross an entire zone, you'll find yourself outside of the Plane of Fear. That big portal is how you get into the public instance, as per usual, and the Voidling over here is how you spin up a personal raid instance. Now, like many of these zones, you only have a little bit of trash, but this trash is a little bit more annoying. You have 4 mini-bosses, 3 of them are golems, one of them's the Dracolich, then it's good old CT himself. Simple as that, let's move on. We're going to talk about Plane of Hate next. Now, Hate is actually situated in the Oasis of Mar in EverQuest Legends. It does not require a wizard port up. It is something you can run to on your own regardless of what combo you play. Now, I'm going to show you here, you can either teleport into South Row or North Row. I'll be honest, I haven't timed this. Maybe one is, I don't know, 15, 30, 60 seconds faster than the other, but South Row, you're going to run north, and North Row, you're going to run south until you get to the Oasis of Mar. On the Spectre Isle, in the tower, on the second floor, you are going to find a flaming sword. If you click that, you go to the public instance where you can spin up a personal instance if you want to kill a bunch of trash, or of course, talk to the Voidling if you want to spin up a raid instance. Here in this zone, there are mini bosses and trash in front of you on 2 different levels. The mini bosses are in different locations depending upon how they spawn. Sometimes you'll get a Lord of Ire, sometimes you get a Lord of Loathing. Just make your way around, kill what you want, ignore what you want. I'm just aggroing everything in this video just to show you how to get the Innoruuk, and once you're here, you take care of your business. Kill Innoruuk, kill his trash, ignore his trash, do whatever you want. But he's there, ripe for the picking, or, you know, ripe for the killing, whatever. And last but not least, we're going to go back to North Row so I can show you how to get to Plane of Sky. Now, Plane of Sky is the only one that doesn't have a Voidling. It used to in closed beta, but it no longer has one because they've changed how Plane of Sky works. Once you zone into East Freeport, you can approach this tent. If you have Levitate, you can just run right onto the edge or ledge of that wall and jump right down to that purple orb. If you don't have Levitate or you don't care, you can just make your way through the town. You're going to aggro some guards, doesn't matter. But once you find your way to that little island with the purple orb, you're going to click it, and now you're in Plane of Sky. And Plane of Sky has a public zone. You can see the people around me here. Or you can spin up a personal instance, and everything, I think, somebody can fact check me on this, has a 1-hour respawn timer. If you care about end-game raid loot, you're going to be spending a lot of time in Sky. It's where a lot of best in slot items drop. There are quests, you get drops throughout the zone, you turn in those drops to get the items, rinse and repeat a lot. That's also how you unlock other primary classes without visiting the cash shop. So get comfortable, get familiar with Sky, and have some fun. My name is Brutal. I stream basically every weekday from about 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. I would love it if you came and said hi. If I missed anything in this video, if something didn't make sense, if you have a faster way to get somewhere, if you have a better way to get somewhere, Whatever it is, leave it in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, you know the drill. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one.